Russia sanctions bill, new law also targets North Korea and Iran. President Trump signed a bill Wednesday morning enforcing sanctions against Russia, Iran, and North Korea, according to White House officials. The bill codified sanctions against all three countries, but the focus was on Russia because lawmakers limited the president's ability to ease sanctions on Moscow. The measure is widely viewed as a congressional check on Mr. Trump. Mr. Trump or President Trump it should be. This was from the Washington Times. Again, disrespectful to the highest degree. What do you mean on Mr. Trump? Amid ongoing allegations by Democrats that the Trump campaign colluded with the Kremlin to interfere in the presidential election. The challenge to... Look at this. Mr. Trump, they're saying. Is this disturbing, or this is not? You know, this is totally disturbing. Do you see how the mainstream news outlets, how they refer to Donald Trump, the president? The challenge to President Trump's executive authority raised doubts about whether he would sign it, but the White House said days ago that the bill was acceptable to President Trump, although he was unhappy with the process. The laws passed Congress with veto-proof majorities. It codifies financial and diplomatic sanctions for Russia's annexation of Crimea and interference in the U.S. election. All totally bogus. Do you see how the deep state is working against Trump? They have his hands tied. Russian President Vladimir Putin has already retaliated against the legislation by expelling 755 American diplomats from Russia, as relations between Washington and Moscow hit a new low. And this is exactly what the deep state's agenda is, for Russia and America not to be on good terms so they can continue with their wars, their warmongering. You know, I mean, it's totally disgraceful. Totally disgraceful. I don't know what to make of this, but I've heard, you know, on other sites that they're actually, that Russia is expelling a lot of the diplomats because there are a lot of leaks in Moscow, and they're weeding out the ones. They kept some diplomats, but they weeded out because of leaks from these diplomats. So if that's the case, you know, I'm for it. But again, do you see that Trump's hands were tied? And look at the Washington, this article is from the Washington Times. So they are the ones calling President Trump. So in order to brainwash people into considering Trump as not the president, you know, I mean, really? They're stating Mr. Trump, and they're putting it in blue lettering here.